Welcome to WHHI Daily News. I'm McNair, and here's a look at your headlines. A longtime family friend and today's technology came together to deal blows to Alec Murdaugh's alibi that he wasn't with his wife and son just before they were killed. Rogan Gibson, a lifetime friend of Paul Murdaugh, testified at Murdaugh's murder trial that he was 100% certain that one of the voices on Paul's cell phone video, taken just 5 minutes before he and Maggie were murdered, was the voice of Alec Murdaugh. Gibson also testified he couldn't imagine any circumstance that would lead Murdaugh to kill his wife and son. In other testimony, a digital forensics expert told the court that Maggie and Paul's cell phones stopped sending or opening any texts around the time of their murders. Well, the same week that the Hilton Head Island Town Council voted unanimously to spend $7.6 million from its real estate transfer fund to buy property intended for more development, the town now has released its priorities for the coming year. Topping that list is growth management. The town's strategic plan also prioritizes figuring out what to do with the Gateway Corridor project, workforce housing, and developing a beach master plan. Mayor Alan Perry says his administration will focus on, quote, much needed harmony and balance while reflecting on who we want to be as a community, end quote. Well, while the state waits for a legal ruling on executing death row inmates by firing squad or the electric chair, there is new legislation that would enable executions by lethal injection once again by shielding the identities of companies that make the drugs in the lethal cocktail. It's hoped that that will help the Department of Corrections restock supplies that have expired over the last decade. There are currently 35 men on the state's death row. The last execution in South Carolina was by lethal injection in 2011. Well, the State House of Representatives voted Wednesday to criminalize fentanyl trafficking. In a voice vote, the bill was amended to mandate the length of a person's sentence based upon the amount of fentanyl in his or her possession. Democrats argued against the measure, saying addicts, unaware that fentanyl may be mixed with their drug of choice, could wind up in prison instead of getting needed treatment. Republicans, however, argued in favor of prison time, saying a hard line is a must due to the severity of the crisis in the Palmetto State. Earlier this week, the Senate Judiciary Committee approved a similar version of that bill, including mandatory minimums for fentanyl possession. Well, with some of the controversy over teaching African American history in our schools, a half dozen educational groups in the Lowcountry are hosting a 3-day conference focusing on Beaufort County's rich and diverse history. The second annual African American History Education Conference, called Untold Stories, Pathways for the Next Generation, will be held next week on February 9th, 10th, and 11th. It will include tours of historic sites, live music, dance, art, food, and in-depth discussions from educators, authors, and historians. Now, you can find out more at the school district's website. For details on these stories and more, be sure to check out the news sources on your screen. Also, be sure to find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you have a story idea, email us at news@WHHITV.com. And now here he is with a look at sports, Justin Jarrett. Justin?
Hey, it's time for Last Night in the Lowco on WHHI, powered by LowcoSports.com. Wednesday was another national signing day, the first date a new round of high school seniors could make their college commitments official, and we had a number of stars around the Lowco putting pen to paper. At Beaufort High, 2 of the stars of the Eagles State Championship football team signed, with Michael Dennison headed to MIT, you heard me, and phenom running back Casey Fields headed up the road to South Carolina State. Fields will be joined in Orangeburg by Bluffton superstar Jalen Linder, who had 3 teammates taking the next level leap with him Tuesday. Kamari Simmons has accepted an appointment to the Naval Academy to play for the midshipmen, while quarterback Max von Hohenstraten is headed to Erskine, and linebacker Jaquin Williams signed with North Greenville. One more football standout signed at May River, with All-State defensive back Darian Perry headed to Anderson University, while Sharks lacrosse stars Brooks Van Esselston and Jacob Bollinger will be opponents in the Sunshine State Conference at Florida Tech and Embry-Riddle, respectively. May River distance running star Anya Arroyo will take her fleet feet to South Carolina to run for the Gamecocks, while Christopher Fewers will swim at Converse, and cheerleader Teresiva Reek signed with Newberry. We never get tired of seeing this dream come true for the Lowco student athletes who dedicate themselves to the grind. Congrats to all on a job well done, and best of luck in your new journeys. For Loco Sports and WHHI, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Loco.
Thanks a lot, Justin. With our weather now, Maria Soden.
Thanks, Allie. Yep, so taking a look ahead, it does look like we're seeing a couple more days of rain and then it should be clearing up by the weekend. Taking a look at Friday, it's going to be cloudy and cooler with scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the day, which should be clearing up by the evening. Temperature-wise, Hilton is going to have a high 59, a low 44. Bluffton's going to have a high 59, a low 42. And Beaufort's going to have a high 57 and a low of 32. The sunrise for Friday is going to be at 7:16 and sunset's going to be at 5:58. Taking a look at the beach tides, high tide is going to be at 7:31 a.m. and low tide is going to be at 2:51 p.m. Taking a look into the weekend, a little bit into next week, Saturday it's going to be sunny and cooler and then cloudy in the evening with highs going down into the low 50s and lows in the 30s. Come Sunday, it's going to be mostly cloudy with the highs going back up into the 60s and lows in the 40s. And then come Monday, it's going to be sunny with highs in the 60s again and lows in the 40s. That's it for today. Let's head it back to the desk.
Great information, Maria. When we come back on the WHHI Daily News, we'll find out about the power of the purse and how it helps those in need. Stay right there.